and beat them later on before they will confess. They are trained to keep secret. Children that can't keep secret normally. And one of the weapons of the devil is to ensure that our little children are initiated into society, and they put them in an order so that they can grow and destroy the family. Many of the evil you see cast in the family, there is not a witch, there is not a wizard, there is a small boy, one small child somewhere. Small children have killed their mother, killed their father before, killed their uncle. They will tell you we are the one that are causing accident between Obi to Lafia Road. Every day we cause accident. Small children. You see why we need revival. So don't pity them in the days such as this, because in the days of revival the Spirit of God is poured upon all flesh, because every flesh must carry the Lord. So you may be young, you are not too young to cry and say, oh God, possess me. Because if God does not possess you, the devil will possess you. And if the devil possess you, the devil will do his will through you. If God possess you, God will do his will through you. There is nothing wrong with coming to this church and finding a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old child on the altar here crying and praying, oh God, Obi land, change Obi land. There is nothing wrong with 3-year-olds speaking in tongues, 5-year-olds speaking in tongues. Nothing is wrong with it. In the days our old fathers refused to pray, let the younger ones pray. When God wanted to talk to Samuel, Samuel was a young guy. He was not an elderly person, and God was talking to him. God can talk to you, it doesn't matter your age. So I'm just trying to let you understand, if the older generation are neglecting God, God will bypass the older generation and move to the younger generation. Because what God intends to do is to create an encounter upon the face of the earth where he can be hosted by men. God wants to walk with men. He has no restraint. Either to conquer with an old man or to win with a young man. Either to conquer with the many or to win with a few. In the days God is desperate to speak, he can use a donkey, he can use a chicken. If God wants to communicate his counsel, anybody become a tool. Anybody that become available become usable. God will not go to theology school looking for those that have a collar. God will not go to where they have ordained men and pour oil upon them. They may not be ready. God will look upon those that are not qualified, those that feel they are nothing, and he will breathe upon them. Those drunkards, those smokers, God can reach out to them and say, I want to use you. God is still looking for men and women he can use in the land of Obi. Enough of religion and gimmicks. Now is the time for us to be serious with our lives. And mind you, children will not remain children forever. Every child grow. A day will come, the children you see today will become the fathers of tomorrow. One of the greatest mistakes of parents, they are never ready for their children to grow. As you are now, your mother is not ready for the day you will come and tell her, Mommy, I want to marry. Somebody want to carry me and go. They are not ready for you to come and say one day you want to be independent. They are not ready. Because every time they look at you, they still look at you, that small boy putting pampers. That's why you are old, 20 years, 30 years. Your mother is still saying you are a baby. Your father is still saying you are a child. You are not a child, you are old. Most times, parents are not ready for the maturity of the children. So they don't take out time to prepare the children. If you are wise, at the age of 2, 3, you begin to train up your child the way it should go. So that when he's old, he will not depart from it. Our parents waited until we are old. The world has begun to teach us bad things. Now they are not trying to correct us and flogging us. Why are you doing something bad? Did you teach me something good? Children are supposed to learn the way of the Lord from their parents. But in the days the parents refuse to teach the children, the way of the Lord, the devil will teach them his ways. How can I hide this thing from my friend Abraham, knowing fully well that he will teach his children? Everything that God is teaching you and I is so that we can teach another generation. And if you and I cannot teach another generation, irresponsibility has tabernacle within our borders. And it will not take long, the kingdom of darkness will prosper. That thing that you know, who knows it apart from you? That thing that you can do, who can do it apart from you? When you look through the lineage of Obi, who are you training? Who are you mentoring? Who are you guiding? No wonder you see men moving all around, misbehaving anyhow. When you see a bad man, it's traceable to a woman. When you see a bad woman, she's traceable to a man. All of us are one way or the other connected. That wayward boy, that kind of girl, that kind of guy, that kind of guy. There is somebody that was supposed to have changed them. They never met the person. Or they met the person and the person himself was not changed. The person never took out time to host God. If men meet you, will they remain the same? Woe unto you in the days men come and meet you and their life cannot be changed through you. There is a protocol of an encounter. God needs to encounter us so that in the day we encounter men, men can see God through us. And that is the desire of God. That you and I can become that end voice of God. And nobody is too small. Nobody is too big for what I'm saying. You don't need a cola. You don't need a certificate of school of ministry. If you are waiting for that one, you may never get it. Because a school, you can fail school of ministry and God will still approve of you. They can mark you and you are having F. And in heaven, you are ready for the work of the kingdom. And you can have A in heaven, you are not yet ready. Who are proof of the discipline of men on the earth? Who give credence to what men ought to do on the earth? Who are proof for the working of God upon the face of the earth? Men call men to do their work. God called men to do his work. And in the days God want to call, God does not need to come and ask you, should I call Apostle Paul? No. God does not need to ask me for him to call this small boy. So in the day God began to speak to Samuel, Eli could not understand. Samuel went to Eli. I am hearing something. He said, I don't know, but go back to the altar. I don't tell God to talk to you. I never told God to talk to you. God is talking to you. Return back to him. Only him know why he talks to you. In fact, led to Eli. Eli has children that he was already training them to take over from him. But God bypassed those children and God went to Samuel. In the days God wants to do something within the land of Obi, don't be shocked and surprised. God can bypass the legal occupant and he will go for those that are not qualified. And those ones that are not qualified are those ones that decide to host God. Samuel was sitting by the altar. Samuel was by the altar crying to God every day. The sons of Eli, they were the ones doing carnal things within the temple. They never pay attention to the protocol of hosting God. How can you host God if you are not found within the altar of sacrifice? How can you host God if you are not found within the confines of the environment of God? Watchman, oh watchman, what about last night? If you are inquire for me, you will acquire. How can God talk to you if you don't give him a listening ears? God is always doing something. God is always saying something. But if God is saying something, somebody must be willing to hear what he's saying. If God is doing something, somebody must be willing to see what God is doing. But in the day God is saying, come, let me show you what I'm doing, you say you are not interested.